get going. So we will talk about what is project management, why project management, and project management roles. We'll talk about learning path to project management, and then we will also talk about project management role. Sorry, I got distracted. There are so many people still messaging me and trying to join in. So basically, this is going to be the focus for today's session. And then this screen is also giving me trouble. This is not coming up. So how it is structured is we will talk about project management, the career path around project management, and then I have allocated some 10 minutes for the question and answer session. You are free to ask any question in between as well, but you can hold them off as well until the end, and we will talk about them. So I believe we can jump into it. Just a couple of things that you should know that I'm not going to go into the very basics of project management, like what is project management, etc. I won't go into the detail. This session is supposed to be talking about some of the career options, some of the career paths available to the folks who are already working in the project management domain area, right? Or a domain or an area. So moving on. But still, we'll have to start with a definition or something. So what is project management? Anyone, what do you think? What is project management? Yeah, if you can unmute yourself, that would be great. It will be more participative workshop.
I believe the project is something where we have the unique event or unique thing to do, and in a particular time, allocated time with particular resources. And project management is systematically manage the project to achieve the goals, and then it will be handed over to operations so that the outcome of the project can be utilized.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, great. Thank you, Nadeem. And anything else? Anyone else? Yeah, Ahmed, please go ahead.
It's the process of leading the work to achieve the goal of the project or any process we are doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Anyone else? So thank you, Nadeem and Ahmed, for defining project management for us. We look at the PMI definition. Yes, absolutely, you guys are correct. PMI says that the knowledge, skills, and tools and techniques that are required to do a project or accomplish the project is called project management. So pretty simple. So we are going to focus on, since we are here and gathered to talk about project management, so I thought it would be good to start with just the definition. Let's move on. And why project management career path? Why project management career path is important? I know that is why you are here to know, and you probably are already working in the project management field or domain. So looking at the PMI website, or I have collected some data, there's a strong demand for project management related roles in the next coming 5 years. Like as per PMI website, 2.2 million new project oriented roles are going to be created in this field. So this is kind of an ever growing area. So it is a right time to get into it. And if you are already in it, that is great. But certainly as a PM or as a person who is as part of the project management team, you have to attain and gain certain skills, and we'll talk about that. So there are a variety of industries it applies to. Usually, a few years ago, if you look back, people would say construction, they were project managers just in constructions, in oil and gas. But now in IT, manufacturing, and oil and gas, and finance, and marketing, you name it. And this profession is growing, rapidly growing. There is a need for this profession. And people and organizations are actually looking forward to it. So this also for what is in it for the project managers or people who want to come into the project management, that it improves the career development opportunities as well. So huge demand in terms of the number. May I request you to unmute, to mute yourself while you're not talking, please? Let's move on. Why project management is important for the organization. So we are talking about the numbers. So organization are also looking at those numbers, but they are also seeing the value of why project management is important and why we should be considering project management. So the organization, they are thinking that it's strategically aligned. It aligns their project more strategically to their requirements. Then leadership. It brings the project management, bring leadership and directions to the projects. And I'm sure you would agree with that. And it brings project management, bring clear focus and objectives. It also brings like realistic project planning and put the projects on track in terms of schedule, time, and funds. And then quality, it ensures quality as well. So project management it has been seen as a profession which will add a lot of value in the project world. So that's why organizations are willing to invest in this profession and bring in more people. And you would hear many organizations have recently started developing their project management offices, center of excellence. They would call it a different name other than the PMO. Some would do an informal way of implementing the project, and some would have a formal way, but still like they are venturing into it. So that is kind of overall gist of why organizations are looking into investing in this profession. There are multiple roles involved in project management, right? So we will focus on 3 of the core roles specific to the project management. It doesn't mean that there are no other roles and areas which cannot be focused. So what are the 3 key roles do you guys think are basically important in project management, or the 3 key roles who leads the project in terms of project management? Yeah.
Project manager is one.
Yeah.
Project coordinator is one.
Yeah.
Analysts are there.
Yes, absolutely.
Analysts. Portfolio managers are there.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any other role?
I would say communication is one of the important roles of the project managers.
Yes, communication is absolutely a quality or skill that a PM must have or should have. Ahmed, please go ahead.
Planning, executing, and monitoring the project.
Yes, that is the role of the project manager. Yeah, absolutely. So I was just, my question was that, do we have, what are the key roles that that are basically running the project management? So let's move on to the slide. I'll talk about, typically there are 3 roles in project management who run the project. One is the project coordinator or project assistant, and that's what Nadeem, you highlighted, Ahmed, and also you talked about some of the roles. Then the project coordinator, project assistants would progress and get the promotion and move into project managers, then senior PMs, and then comes the project director. Sometimes they call senior program managers, or they are referred to as program managers. So these are key roles who run the project. So we'll talk about those in a little bit detail. And then certainly I will ask for your opinion as well. So project coordinators are typically, they are often involved in supporting the project managers or senior project managers delivering the project. Their role is, in some of the organization, typically more of an operational side, organizing the meetings, helping with the communication and planning, etc. But it does not restrict that project coordinator not to venture into the project management field, like typically running the project. So I've seen PCs as well running the projects or assisting the PMs while they are away. to run the project. So this is one other role where this is basically an entry level role, but this is where you start when you are venturing into project management. So if you want to start your career, want to apply for an entry level role where you are at the start of your career, of course, project coordinator, project assistant are the role you should be searching for and looking for, then applying. Then moving on, then you go into the project manager role, and as Ahmed, you said, and probably Noor were also saying that project managers, they plan, develop, monitor, control, and execute projects. Of course, from initiation till the closure, they had the skill set to complete the project from initiation until the closure, and there are several of the traits that are required for them. So for the project manager, once you have attained the 5 to 10 years of experience, then you get into the senior PM role, right? So senior PM have a little bit of a more scope, and sometimes they have assigned PMs as well as PCs in their teams, and they run the project. So there are millions of project roles, like in specific to IT, for example, they have domain architects, system analysts, as Nadeem was saying, and then there are BAs, change management people, architectures, and then there are people from storage, from people from storage team, from other areas. These are also, like, as part of the project team, project manager is responsible for running such resources as well. Then we move on and go to the project director role. So project directors have an overall responsibility for the successful conclusion of the project. They oversee the project managers. Overall, they are responsible and accountable for the budget, for the quality, for schedule and all that. And then they do the hiring and firing of the project managers. So entry level, you start from the project coordinators, and then go up to the project director, and then from there move on to ED level. And many of the senior PMs, even program managers, move into chief operating officer role, depending on where they are applying and which organization they are in. So these are some of the key roles that you should be looking for when applying for project related positions. But it really depends. You would find in some people would say, like, for example, in the agile world, they would say agile project manager. So you have to have certain skills. Like in engineering field, they would say engineering senior PM, right? And IT senior PM. So based on your skill set, you would apply for those roles, or you acquire those roles that you would want to go forward with it, right? So, but in general, these three roles, project management is not restricted to three roles. Projects are run within operations as well. Projects are run within other areas as well, within finance as well, right? So, for example, as Nadeem was saying that he defined when he was defining the project, like it is a specific definition that we talked about. So basically, if it qualifies for the project, it is a project. So the responsibilities of project manager, I would say it's not necessarily the project manager, say project manager title. Even if you don't have the title of project manager and you are running the project, you're still good. Like if you're defining the scope of a project, if you are planning and monitoring, if you are like managing project resources as we talk about, then you are a project manager, right? So if you are communicating, as we talked about, if you have good communication skills, certainly you are absolutely utilizing those skills. And then project managers, of course, are responsible for foreseeing and eliminating possible blockers. So basically, and then if you are documenting each step in the process using different project management tool and ensuring top quality success of the project. So kind of an overall, I wanted to explain or talk about these things, and I'll stop here. I'll let you talk about it. Any additions, anything you would like to bring up about the roles and roles of project manager, or any experience you would like to share.
So can you please explain a little bit in detail, like what are the roles in between from project coordinator to the project manager in terms of seniority levels, or like the next levels after the project coordinator, what comes next?
It's the project manager, usually after the project coordinator.
So what about the planners, schedulers, controllers?
Yes, so they are all there, but it really depends what route and what organization you are in. So I'm just specifically, if you talk about the project management, this is the route, but certainly planners can always move into it. And there's no as I said, there are other roles involved in project. They can certainly be part of the team and become project managers. Certainly they can do that if they have the required skills and experience. But typically it is you from project coordinator, you go into the project manager as a project manager, but you can certainly move into other roles depending on the availability and the organizational requirements. Any other question? Just going to quickly see if there's anything in the chat. Yeah, Suresh is asking, we usually don't have that many human resources. May roles overlap? Yes, of course. It really depends on the resources and size of the organizations. Some of the organizations, those who are small, they would have just one person running the show, right? Even a one project manager can run, right, a project. So it does not matter if you have a small team, if you have a large team. What matters is that you are actually structuring or providing a structure to your projects. Like you start from right from the ideation to initiation to planning, implementation, monitoring, and then from controlling and then to the closure. So as long as you are formalizing your effort so that you can monitor and keep track, resources does not matter, and small organization and people with limited resources, organization with limited resources are also running projects. So did I answer your question, Suresh?
Yes, thank you, Faisal.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, any other addition, comment? Just going to go back to the chat box. Yes, Marjan said motivating the team. Yes, absolutely. That is one key skill PM should have. Okay, so I am going to move on to so project management types. Basically, you have studied, and some of you maybe is someone in this group. Kazi, want to say something? Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Please, I want to find out, because I'm just venturing into the project management career.
Mm-hmm.
Can one have the role of a project manager without having the PMP? Maybe you already have the training, you've done your 35 hours of training, but you have not passed your PMP. Can you have the role of a project manager, or you can only attain that after you've got your PMP certification?
No, you can have the role of PM without being certified. There are many people, those who have not certified and still PM. I am an example, a prime example. I worked in many countries as a PM, and I only got certified when I settled in Canada. So, and I've worked, and I can show you, I've worked on senior levels. So that is not a limitation. The most important thing is how do you position yourself and what skills you require. And we'll talk about this a little more in the upcoming slides, if that is okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
There is a question, Faisal,
Yeah.
an additional question.
Yes,
Will
please.
there be any additional benefit, like the salary difference if you do the project management certification or not?
There is, and is or is not. Sometimes there is a majority of the time, yes, it is based on the PMI data. I think if I'm not wrong, you can check there as well. So PMI, the Project Management Institute, which is the main body for providing the certification, they say that around 20 to 25% more salary for certified PMs as compared to non-certified PM per their survey. Okay, Zakl, I hope I'm providing you a quorum, last name. So I will go to that. So next slide, bear with me. There are many slides to come. Okay, so project management types. Those of you, majority of you, I'm sure are familiar with the project management and PMI world. So waterfall is one of the project management type. The other is the agile, and third is the hybrid. So these are the three kind of project management types which Project Management Institute of PMI focuses on. So waterfall is the traditional approach which we usually use in project management, but agile has been introduced in past few years, and then hybrid model is the most newest one where you combine both agile and waterfall and go about that. I'm not going to go into the definitions of these ones, as I said earlier, because we can certainly do that. If there's a need, I can go into the basics, but I'm not going to talk about the basics for today. But just for today's session, these are the three main types. I'm going to talk about it. How do you then ensure that as a project manager, you continue to learn? How do you ensure that you are on the learning path and track, right? So self-learning is the first thing you do, and that is part of it. Self-learning, that is why you are here. That is why I am here in this session, is the self-learning, right? We want to learn, we want to self-learn. And so studying is the major thing. So studying helps prospective project managers gain the various skills needed to accomplish the multitude of tasks required to get a job done, right? So subscribe to PMI membership and a local chapter. This is also one thing you can do. So the Project Management Institute have chapters almost like all major cities. You can subscribe to them, network with people. It's paid, of course, but it comes with some benefits. There are lots of Udemy courses and Coursera courses. I'm sure you may have done those already in project management. And these are very cheaper option like Udemy. You can even get for 10, 15 Canadian dollars a course, and you can certainly do that. So it's self-learning. Book reading is important thing. You get some books and read them. You can watch YouTube videos as well. You can read the blogs. So this is kind of a self-learning journey that you can do. You can do like you use all these resources to learn, right? And then if you think that you are not a person who read a lot, you cannot then watch YouTube videos. The best other thing I found is if you have a LinkedIn, and if you have LinkedIn membership or a premium membership, you would have access to lots of project management, agile, waterfall, foundation courses, which are very good courses, very well designed. So I would recommend, if you have the ability, please go ahead and do the project management foundation courses. There's one very good course that is start for, and someone in this group mentioned that they're right at the start of their career, and some of you maybe, it may be a basic one, but for those of you who are starting their career or journey in project management, there's a Google course, Learn the Basics of Project Management, that you can certainly go about it, and then go to, and Google certification is offered through, they are offered through the Coursera. So if you subscribe to Coursera, or you can purchase, and one thing else I can tell you, Coursera do offer scholarships as well. So if you can go in there, fill up a good justification within your application, you can always get that Google project management certificate for free, right? So it's a good course. Then if you are a PMI member, there is a kind of free 45 minutes course. I would recommend go to the PMI website. It's a kickoff course, Get Kickoff. You can go there and certainly subscribe to it and learn the basics of project management. So lots of resources out there if you want to self-learn. I've talked about Google Project Management already. So this is kind of self-learning. There are avenues where you can go and learn. We can move into the certifications, right? So certification, someone asked what is the requirement for PMP. Certainly we'll talk about that. So there are three kind of, so focusing on Project Management Institute, and there are three course, there are many certificates that they offer, but I would want to focus on these three, which are acceptable in industry worldwide, globally, as well as they are very commonly named in the job description. Like even if, for example, there is a portfolio management, there's program management certification, but in the job description, you would find PMP as a requirement in several of the advertisement, and CAPM rather than program management. And there are very few who have done that. Similar to that, Agile certificate, ACP or Agile Certified Practitioner is another certification that PMI offered. But since the exam changed, a couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, over a year ago rather, then PMP now exam covers the 50% of the Agile course as well. So I don't know how important it is to get an ACP now, because PMP is now a blend of Agile and waterfall predictive methodologies already. So let's jump into, and I'll stop here, or I'll jump here. Let's talk about certification, and I'll stop after I talk about PMP. So if you're looking for your learning beyond the self-learning, beyond your organization learning, you would want to go into certification. Let's say you plan to write a PMP exam, but how do you, and then you have to see if you qualify for that. So you need to have a 4-year degree, and 36 months leading projects, and 34 hours of education, which is called contact hours. These are provided through some of the service providers. Let's have several people. Can you please mute some of you who are unmuted? Can you please mute? And then 35 hours of project management can be done through some of the providers. Even there are courses on Udemy, Coursera, which are very cheap courses, $15 you can get the 35 contact hours to qualify. If you are doing a course, let's say 2 months diplomas, 1 year diploma in project management, you are doing a master's in project management, you have a CAPM, you don't need to qualify for to go again and do the 35-hour contact hour training. You would certainly qualify, you are eligible to apply. So you submit your application. So if you don't have a 4-year degree, then the requirement is a little different, but PMI still doesn't stop you appearing for PMP exam if you have a 60 months leading projects experience, and still that requirement for education, you are good to write the exam, right? So, and this exam, the process is you go to PMI, you submit your application, right? And then when the application is submitted, you fix a date, and then you write for the exam, and in between you prep, of course. So I'll stop here. I'll ask if there's any specific PMP question. I know there are a couple of people wanting to ask some questions. Yeah, please go ahead. Any question in the chat, Nadeem? Okay, let's move on. So in terms of the preparation, when you have submitted your application, this is a question that comes to me almost every day. What material to prepare? So a couple of things you need to note. For the PMP especially, you need to understand that PMI does not recommend one book to prepare. They have list of 10 books, and I can provide you later. Whosoever is interested, ask me. I'll send you a link. The 10, or you can find it on the PMI book, the 10 books, PMI website, sorry, the list of 10 books. PMBOK is one of them, right? So PMBOK, the project management body of knowledge, is one of them. But the important thing to know is there's a exam content outline, which is ECO, that is to be used for PMP. They have an agile practice guide you can download from PMI website if you're a member, I believe, and then you are good with that. So PMBOK you can use as a resource book. You can select one good book. You have to do a simulator or stuff like that. So I just want to let you know, not only for PMP, for any other PMI certification, the go-to thing is the ECO. So for CAPM, those of you who think that they don't qualify this 36-month leading project, 60-month leading projects experience, they would still go for CAPM. That would also follow, CAPM would also follow the same preparation methodology, little different difficulty level, less questions, less requirement. Anyone can apply. Just need 23 hours of project management education, and then you are good to apply. So once you have the CAPM, you then can go for PMP, right? So again, CAPM, some of you, is someone in this group preparing for CAPM or training or already a CAPM? No one? Any PMP here or anyone preparing for PMP?
Preparing for PMP.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay.
Yeah, I'm preparing for PMP as well.
Okay, thank you. Great. Yeah, so I just want to double check with you if someone is, I can spend more time if there is an interest or someone is preparing for it. Otherwise, I'll skip the slides and move on to the next one. So you can go to the PMBOK site and find the details there for the certification. But the important thing for all these three certification is the ECO, that you need to understand what the exam content outline is, what they are requiring for that. So ACP is the Agile Practitioner. The Agile Practitioner certification from PMI, and that's again, if you have done it doesn't matter if you have not done PMP or CAPM, but still you can do ACP if that is something that you interest to you and is a requirement. So it's a different requirement for that one. You still have to submit an application, pay a fee, go through an application process, and be done with the certification. Right? Again, ECO is the main thing. So yeah, so this is kind of, we talked about some of the certifications. We have talked about some of the self-learning. Then we can go into the coaching and mentoring. This is something I wanted to spend a little bit of more time on. This is something very important for the project managers. When you are coming into project management or trying to excel in the project management world, then this is very, very important for you to look at how do you coach yourself? How do you participate in mentoring calls? How do you be part of the mentoring groups? How can this be done? And how can this help you progress well in your career? So mentorship for project managers. So that is what I was saying, that whether you are a project manager starting your career or as an experienced project manager working towards certification or already a certified PMP, you would agree that being a project manager requires constant professional development, right? So as a PM or someone who is working in the project management domain, or let's say any other domain, you need to upgrade your skills as you progress, or upgrade your skills as the new technology and processes are introduced. So how to gain this PM experience? How do you gain this PM experience? So if you have what avenues, so you have looked at the certification, you have looked at the we have looked at the individual ways of self-learning, and then how do we gain the PM experience? Like people would come to me asking, we don't have 36 months of PM experience, we don't have 60 months of PM experience, and we don't qualify for PMP application. How do we go about that, right? So some suggestions from my side, I would always say, and it's not necessarily for the certification. As an immigrant myself, I know many of the people, those who are who come new to this country, or a newcomer to Canada, would have difficulty transferring their skill set into the existing market or similar to that, right? So request for what you can do as a strategy, if you are really into project management, request your manager that you are interested in gaining project management experience, right? Ask them that if there is something they can assist you with, and then you can always volunteer with local PMI chapter or similar bodies, like, or as organizations, those who are working, you can identify those organizations working in project management, take PMI membership, volunteer for some role. This would be your experience, put that on your resume, right? Or in your application. So keep an eye out for the areas of improvement within your organization. So as a project manager or someone who would want to venture into project management, the best thing for you is to look for gap areas, look for the areas where you can contribute, right? So you come up with you find a gap, area of improvement within the organization, come up with a unique idea. So basically be very proactive, rather than waiting for people to come to you, ask for help. Present yourself as someone who is willing to help and be part of the organization learning growth, right? Volunteer with a non-for-profit organization, as I was earlier saying, and then help them understand what value you can add in implementing their projects. And then you can offer to lead some of their project. Come up with an idea, right? So this is kind of a few of those ideas that you can gain experience and build on that experience. So for especially for people, those who are new to the country, they are really struggling to get into a job market. Then the first thing is, how do you volunteer? How do you gain local Canadian experience? I know it's a kind of a drawback, but unfortunately, we have to go by that and get some local Canadian experience, right? So I'll just stop here and ask you if anyone would like to share any of your experiences or anything you would like to add here. Or do you think that this strategy or these points that I have identified would work, building on project management experience and given you a little bit of more ideas? Okay, don't be so quiet, please. Or put that in the chat. Or okay, I'll keep moving forward. So professional profile building. As a PM or anyone who is looking for job, looking for promotion, looking for career development, professional profile building or marketing yourself is one of the key things, right? And you would agree with me on that. So how do we do that, right? So cover letter, whenever, one thing that I, as part of teams, I've observed people have stopped submitting their cover letter for the job, but this is absolutely necessary, right? You need to have that. The resume is something, the resume need to be what Canadian employers are looking for. It needs to be ATS compliant, and LinkedIn profile, you need to put yourself out there, do a LinkedIn profile and optimize it, right? So there are several techniques, and I also you can hire a career coach, you can watch some videos, you can watch some videos on the interview prep if you are going through the process, and then so basically this is kind of career development is something you need to focus on yourself. So as a person, you need to build your brand, right? So people need to know that this is one or two skills. If you are a project manager, if you are a graphic designer, let's say, if you are an architect, let's say, if you're a project manager, let's say, you need to build your brand around that, and need to one or two skills needs to be branded against your name. People would know that person is qualified, and that needs to be reflected as part of your career, as for part of your cover letter, resume, LinkedIn profile. And I can certainly help you with the this course, this as well. And if you need such help, just reach out to me as well. But this is very important to focus on when you are doing your career development, right? So this can be an individual program. So if you are hiring a coach, or if you want to work with some coach, they would help you design your individual learning plan, right? So that is another thing to consider as well. Any questions? Okay, we have already talked about the certifications. You can learn for any questions, please. Someone unmuted, so I'm just wondering if
I have a question. You made mention of contacting you after this. I want to know, how do we contact you if we
did you
need
get
your
my
help?
email? Did you get my email from myself regarding the all this training? And
no, what I registered on Eventbrite.
Yeah, but all the participants who registered in Eventbrite, I have sent you all a couple of follow-up emails afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'll check my email for that.
Yes, please. And I have my contact, but I can certainly put my email in the chat towards the end. You can contact me through that as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. So PMP, ACP, there are two ways to it. You either do it yourself, you do a course. Some of you, I know those who are participating here have already done project management training. They have done the training through Udemy. They have done the training through project management and someone from that EMCN program here in this group.
Yes.
Yes. So you have done your Kazi, you have done your the training, right? The 3-day training, the contact hour trainings, the Udemy course, right?
I'm on the Udemy course right now.
Yeah, okay. So I was just saying that this is one way to learn, right? One way is that you go to Udemy, you subscribe a course, you learn through that. You want to opt for one-on-one coaching, that is the other option. Like once you're done with all the trainings and requirement, still there is a need, you can go for one-on-one coaching. Then there is a group coaching call. Probably I'll be organizing soon a group coaching call. Maybe group coaching for PMP prep. This course is starting soon, but I'll talk about something else. Application assistance, yeah, email me if you want to, if you want any help with the application. But this is something you will learn when you go into join a class, the PMP contact hour class. They will help you with the application process. They'll help you with the with the class, the prep material. They will help you with the providing the questions, practice question, etc. So there's always a self-preparation angle, but you can certainly hire someone to help you with that. Let's move on to the project management mentorship. Mentorship, we have talked about several other things. So this is something which I'm starting. So this is the mentorship program, which we are starting, in fact, from tomorrow. And there are a few people probably on this call already. I don't want to put them on spot, but they have already subscribed for that coaching call, which is starting tomorrow. I'll talk about that a little bit, which is basically a group coaching, live calls, and then we go through a process where we would want to, and this could be done at your organization level as well, right? You can do it on your own as well. You can join my program, any other program, but for the program that I'm running, we would have a project that participant would select, or I can provide a project and you can practice on that project, then work on team building. Sample templates would be provided. And then a WhatsApp group is there to be part of. It's basically a 6 to 8 week program, which would help people go through a whole learning process of project management. So what is the learning process? So basically, an organization would go and do project management in a different way. But I would recommend following the PMI methodology, where you follow the 5 process groups. Like from initiation, you go into the initiation. From there, you move on to planning, monitoring, evaluation, monitoring, controlling, and then you go into the executing, and then you go into the closing. So from initiation until the closing, you go through all these process steps. Like, for example, in the initiation, you go through the ideation. You build on an idea, you do a project charter, then you do an implementation plan, you do several other plans. Move into implementation, then you monitor, control in between, and then you are executing. That is also called implementing. And then you move that towards the closing, and you are making sure that you're closing your project within scheduled time and quality, and then scope. And then after that, you still want to make sure that you are delivering what the client is required. So this is kind of the process that course is going to follow. So if there is an interest or enough interest, certainly I can organize another one, but this is the one that is starting tomorrow. I will email you guys around that, and you can look at that. So possibly after this, maybe we can look into possible projects partnership, not sure, but something may come up. And then there's an opportunity for networking. For now, it's offered on a very subsidized rate, but if the money is the only issue that is refraining you from joining the course, please feel free to reach out to me, and then we will go from there. And this is the what the current fee structure is for that course, which is almost the 1/5 of the courses offered in the market. So this is until there, this is something we can look for, and you can also go into and work with some other coaches, or you want to do the self-learning. So there are a few possible opportunities for women, especially in my organization where I work, and the organization I'm establishing. We do encourage women in the project management world. So we will be soon starting something which is like possible project partnership, networking, free training, coaching for the women in project management. So you will soon hear or see that email from myself as well. So any questions or any other comments for what we have talked about already? for the last 50 minutes. Yeah, open for the questions. Or any comment, any suggestions?
Yeah, I have just one question, like it is a bit particular, but let's suppose if someone has like 15 years or 10 years of oil and gas experience and he wants to move to another field and he already did the PMP. So how to execute the strategy to move out from one field to another field?
You mean that if you are working in oil and gas, you want to move into IT, right? If I'm understanding it correctly.
No, basically I'm talking specifically for the project management. Like if someone has a engineering and operations experience in oil and gas, and now he wants to move to the project management, not particularly only oil and gas project management, but to the other project management roles as well.
Yeah, that's what I said as well. So we were both talking about the same thing. So for example, if you're in the project management engineering field, of course, you can move out and work into other areas as well. But you have to determine like which is the closest one, right? So if you don't want to work within engineering, there are opportunities like as an engineering project manager. But if you would want to go out, if you would see, for example, the closest you would find is something, let's say an example, IT project manager, right? So you can certainly work on your transferable skills. So it is skill that matters. So you already have a PMP, you said, like, and 10, 15 years of experience. It's just the matter of transferring, highlighting those transferable skills that could be applicable in any industry. So I think that's there's every likelihood that you can move the domains and you can move from engineering project management to other areas as well. And I've seen many, many people doing that. And that really depends. And if you would want to reflect those, if you have any, if you want, email me and I can certainly help you out with looking at your resume and helping you with the how it is going to help you with like transferring skills. So this is my email. I'm Yahoo Gmail you already have. So this is the one that I am just sending. So this is for all of you. Anyone, any question, follow-up question, just let me know. And then I have a question here in the chat window. It's Mujahid. Could you please send me presentation slides in the email? Sorry, Mujahid, I will only post the video. Thanks for the information or sending us the presentation. I will send the recording. Yes. And Lama and thanks Lama for joining us. She's joining from Jordan, and thank you from joining from there. And then you would want support for CAPM training. Okay, we can certainly chat offline, and I'm just making sure that I don't miss any questions or comments. So any questions? So how do you contact me? I've sent you my email as well, and then in the email, follow-up email I'm going to send along with the recording maybe. I will send you a few other things, like this is my YouTube channel for project management in case you would want to learn. Contact me there. It's Faisal Shafiq. I'm with my name everywhere, so I just want to promote myself. So this is the project management core, my page, Facebook page, free to join. I think few of you are already on there. Some joined last night, and then there's my personal page, which is kind of a motivational page. Then I have this is my organization that I have recently started. And we are providing the trainings from that platform as well. My personal LinkedIn profile, if you want to connect, I'm happy to connect with you guys as well on those social media. I'll provide you the details, but come back to the question. We still have like 1 minute, one final minute. Any questions, let me know, and please send me the follow-up emails if you want me to organize more session, provide feedback, and it will motivate me to certainly organize more. So